right. I think we're good. Just checking everything. Checking the gate. All right, we are good to go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Jedi Academy. If you're wondering what the hell this is where we bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers and game changers together. We'll get into that in a second. But the best and brightest of the minds of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes together to answer your Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes questions. That's right. This is a Q&A show hosted by RSG and me, Ranger J 1999. And it's basically to help you with all the questions you may have about the game, whether it's about your account or just stuff that's happening in the game in general. And the way it works is if you have a question for this amazing panel of guests and people, all you need to do is put your question into the chat. And once the question's there, make sure you put question in front of your statement. This is very important. We use Nightbot, and for us to basically get through everything that's filtering out the chat, you have question for your statement. We'll get it scooped up in the order that we receive it, and we will get it to one of the panelists. If you have one panelist you want a particular answer, just put their name in there. So pretty simple stuff, but help us to help you. Help us help you. So also do me a favor, for not just us, but for all these wonderful guests that we have on. They're all YouTubers. Please check out their content. Please make sure you, for this video and others, give us a thumbs up. Follow them on wherever they may be. Support the channel. They come on here on their own time. They don't have to do this, and they come here to spend time with you guys to answer your questions, and that's a little ask to support them. And I really encourage you to check out their stuff. It's amazing stuff. They all have a unique perspective and thing that they do for the community, and you can always show your support by doing that. That being said, real quick note, the new lore video is out for Count Dooku. That came out yesterday, so after this, if you haven't checked out the lore series that we're doing, please do. And with that, let us get into everybody that is here on the panel. First of all, I think he's here with me. I don't know what he's doing today, but Dr. Finn, are you here? He's on mute.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Finn. Are you watching Bob Ross?
Of course I am.
I hate you. Are you able to peel yourself away from your addiction and help us with questions and stuff?
I'm gonna start putting happy little questions in our stream chat.
Happy little questions. Maybe in our world, Finn. You know me, I like to get crazy. Maybe we could have like a little squirrel with some of those questions. And
Peapod is awesome.
Peapod is awesome. The pocket squirrel. You got to make sure you add that part of it, Finn. So, see, Bob Ross and Finn are kindred spirits because they both like fluffy animals. All right, so Finn will be scooping up the questions. Outstanding. Let's see who else we've brought along on this epic journey for everyone today. Also joining us, the man, the myth, the legend. He needs no introduction, but we'll do it anyway. All the way up from Colorado, up there in the Rocky Mountains, being a mountain man. We've got Warrior from Warrior Presents. Good morning, Warrior.
Oh, you a bad man. What's happening?
What did you say?
What did you say? It's over 9,000.
I will have you sign that cheat. Good old Newt Gunray. Gotta love him. All right. Warrior's here. Also joining us from across the pond in jolly old England, representing Her Majesty's something, Mr. Michael W. Huntington III.
Good afternoon. Oh, I don't know what that was at the end of that. But
puberty.
Yeah, again.
Also joining us from Operation Metaverse, somewhere down there in the Carolinas, we got good old Maurice. What's going on, good old Maurice?
You don't remember which Carolina, do you?
South Carolina.
Ah, okay, in my face. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Yeah. Who you talking to, man?
In my face. Okay, I apologize.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And forgive good old Maurice. He's been having a little bit of drinking too much moonshine, eating moon pies down there. So, but we're glad to have you here, good old Maurice. Doing all right? He was good old Maurice. Are you okay?
Yes, I had a mouthful of biscuits. Sorry. Yes, doing very good.
Did you get bow rounds?
Oh. Yes, I did.
Oh.
And a gravy biscuit. Breakfast of champions.
Oh, goodness. Also joining us, the father of my apprentice, the one and only Stoner Jedi himself, Xylo Takedown.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
That's
How you
right.
doing?
And where is my apprentice right now?
We're having our morning hangout session right now, and then
Mhm.
gonna go. to the
Xylo, you're
park
coming
after
in
the
really
show.
quiet.
Oh, sorry, a little better. Yeah, no.
It's
You
so really quiet.
You need to either turn up your volume or put the mic right next to your mouth, buddy.
It's these headsets, man. I'm telling you, they just give me a hard time. I'll switch them out.
Or just go to your computer and turn up your volume.
I'm on the phone.
Well, go to your phone and then turn up the goddamn volume. Science. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what to do. Just go right up to them and be like, I'm here, Ranger, shut up. And last but not least, the one, the only, Jedi Master herself, Jedi Master Dasher, soon to be Lady Adastra of the Sith.
Good morning.
Good morning, my soon to be younger, stronger apprentice.
Yeah, to be someone's apprentice would imply I have something to learn, you know?
The dark side
Pretty
is the
sure I'm
pathway to
stronger than
many
you.
abilities.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
You know, that's what everybody else said before.
You can become my Padawan instead if you want.
Oh snap!
Jedi Master Dasher.
Burn.
Jedi Master Dasher, you don't have the skill to hold my lightsaber, so let me just throw that out there. So it's all right. Don't worry, guys. I will corrupt her. I will turn her. She will be mine. Oh yes, she will be mine. Probably in like 6 years or something. It's going to take a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do it, actually. You doing all right this morning, Jedi Master Dasha?
Yeah, you're so sneaky with that. You're getting. Maurice thought you were done, so he took some bite. I thought you were done, so I
know.
take a bite.
Yeah. These
What the heck, man?
See what you get for messing with me? The host has a lot of power there. And what are we eating for a
I'm
healthy
good.
breakfast?
I'm good. It's a nice morning. Ready for another exciting week?
Yes, absolutely. Do you have to work today?
Of course.
No, I never asked. Where do you work, or what do you do? If you don't say where we want to work, well, what do you do? I was
I
curious.
cannot say.
You cannot say what you do for a living?
It's a secret of the Jedi. Shh.
It's a secret of the Jedi. What the? She's a lawyer, y'all. I'm just gonna make up stuff. She is a lawyer doctor. I'm just throwing that out there. Makes sense. As smart as she is. All right, there you go. So now go ahead and get your questions in. While we were getting questions going, I will just throw it out there. Anybody can just speak up. Holy crap! Did they do an information dump on us on a Friday night? I got that right as I was getting ready to do some streaming yesterday. I'm like, oh, 4 giant posts. Well, let's just go through this. Good Lord. But there's been a lot of stuff going on, announced and talked about this week. Anything on anybody's mind? Just throw it out
Can
there.
I ask a question?
Oh, Lord.
So,
Is
good
it a
old Maurice-
serious question, Finn? I swear.
It's a mix. So good old Maurice.
Oh, for God's
How does it
sakes.
feel that your guild lost 3 game changers in one day?
I'm pretty sure not a peep has been said in the chat about that yet. Maybe I should bring it up.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, we went down. We're down 3 game changers in one guild, guys. So reach out and help.
So background, if you guys aren't aware, they put out one of the posts that Ranger is talking about is about the Game Changer program and the fact that the Game Changer program is for the purposes of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The EA Game Changer program is still there, but for the purposes of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the Game Changer program is basically kaput. And we've kind of seen the writing on the wall a little bit. I think Warrior and Good Old Maurice and Ramon, when he's been on, has also talked about it. But there's 3 of them in Good Old Maurice's guild, with Good Old Maurice, Mist, and Arnold, T101. So
Well,
that is the reason for the question.
now they can just yell and scream at CG like me. No, you don't have to do that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hopefully, now they'll have a little more time to participate in territory wars, so we'll be doing real well in that department.
So you're saying before then you just didn't do anything for your guild?
Yes, because I had a title, so I couldn't participate in territory wars. But now I can.
Ah, very nice. Any other feelings, Warrior, good old Maurice? I mean, I was talking to you, Warrior, about it earlier, but I mean, if you want to share your thoughts about it real quick, I'm sure everybody in chat's
talking about the
interested.
Game Changer program is gone?
Yes.
What?
Oh,
What?
God, Warrior, I didn't know if you knew. I'm sorry.
What?
Oh,
Oh
Warrior.
my God.
Buddy.
Oh
Buddy.
my God.
Buddy. Oh, God. That's
Oh
okay.
my God.
It's okay.
This is
So, Warrior,
happening. Okay.
there's other things in life, Warrior. Okay, good.
Okay, I'm better. Sorry, I just
Good.
momentary
Got that out of
weakness.
there? Yeah, got that out. Yes. Yes.
I'm better.
Okay.
Well, so this is what's changed. This is huge, you guys.
It's huge.
Yesterday, there was a Game Changer program on a piece of paper. It said Game Changer program, and there was no benefits. And then today, the Game Changer program paper went away, and there's no benefits. It's the same thing. It's
Surprise, mother.
surprise, mother trucker.
We kind of saw the writing on the wall. You guys have talked about this for a long time. There's no shock to this whatsoever. So it's like
It may be a shock to the community, but we've been there's nothing has changed. It's been this way. They're just now being honest with the community about the state of the affairs of that once upon a time program.
Mhm.
I think what they thought, and I'm being completely honest here, I think they were afraid of coming out and saying that it was over because they thought that maybe there'd be like a riot or something. And I'm a bit disappointed in the community right now. I've expected more pitchforks and, rioting, but no, I'm just kidding. But I think they honestly were a little bit afraid of some backlash because they already deal with that. Like every time they do anything, they get this massive, Reddit backlash. So I think they just have been dragging their feet because they're just afraid of, being publicly skewered. And finally they just realized like, we get publicly skewered no matter what. It doesn't really matter. We just need to come out and tell everybody what's going on with the program. So they finally came out. So kudos to them for finally, being fortuitous enough to step up and explain to the community I guess they would call it the evolution of it. The good news is once like they talked to us and we basically said, yeah, kill it. We don't care. It doesn't change anything from now. They increased the communication with us after we were like, that's fine. And they were like, it almost took a weight off their shoulder. And then they immediately put us into beta and stuff. So we actually have more of a program now that there's not a program than there was when there was a technical program, because they're now more open to just do what they want to do. And they're treating us more like the players that are in beta. And that's better than anything we've had in the last year. So I'm happy with the evolution of it, honestly.
Right.
Warrior,
Go ahead, Mike.
how did you celebrate the ending of your NDA? Was there any sort of ritual?
So my NDA is with EA, not with Capital Games. Okay. And I still have that NDA. So I'm still under NDA for EA. So if EA shares any proprietary stuff with me, I am still required to keep my mouth shut about it. EA doesn't share anything with me because I don't do any other games. The only person who would share anything proprietary would be Capital Games, and they have me not under any kind of an NDA. However, they do have me under a verbal beta agreement, which is something that anyone that plays beta, every time you play beta, there's a pop-up that pops up. It's a legal pop-up. You can't play without clicking accept. And in there, it says you're not going to share publicly any of the things you see or do within the beta program. So I'm held to that verbal agreement that is within beta, and that's fine. But that's it. That's the only extent of that. But last night I did a live stream about all the stuff, and I did story time at the end. It was super fun. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should probably figure it out.
So you told a story. So let it be written.
I tell a fun story about a narc.
Oh. Any thoughts from you, good old Maurice?
Not really. I mean, pretty much he just nailed it all right in the head. We were very fortunate, to catch the tail end of the program, and it helped our channel out a lot. And then it just kind of slowly disappeared, and I've got nothing negative really to say about it.
No, I didn't expect anything negative. Just
and Warrior made a good point. I don't think a lot of people realize that we did actually be like, can it? Say we did. It was a collective kind of thing,
for sure,
of sorts. So yeah.
All right, there you go. All right. We are now. I think we're ready for some questions, Finn. How are we looking on questions?
I've been collecting them, so we have some ready.
Well, that's,
You guys can keep the questions coming. Make sure you type them in chat, include the word question, and I will pick them up.
That's right. That's called science, Finn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew that. All right, let's start it off with El Warrior, por favor.
All right. So a question from Warrior from Paparazzi. Her question is, should I gear up my Padme team or keep hoarding resources?
Padme team. And this is why, you guys, unknown versus known entity, you have no idea what's coming and how good it will be.
Yes.
And Padme, we know it's like 100% a top 3 team, if not the number 1 or number 2 best team in the entire game. So based on modding. So if your modding's on point, it can be anything easily. If your modding's not completely on point, it's still a top 2 or top 3 team in the game. So if you have those characters and you have the ability to gear up the best characters in the game, it's kind of silly not to do that with a known entity that's in your hands for something that might potentially eventually come into the game that's an unknown entity. So yes, anytime you have something that you know is good and you have access to that which you know is good, do that.
Yes. Well, even, it's funny. I've been telling people that all week, Warrior. It's like, it just makes sense, right? You don't know what's going to be in the future, but you know what you got now. What did you say, Finn, the other day when we were doing the Wednesday night shoot, 2 in the hands, or there's a bush?
Bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, because you never know if the birds are just going to fly away when you try to catch them.
Oh, look at that. That's like a haiku or something. Dr. Finn's smart. All right. Next question. Let me just go down the list here. Oh, God damn it. I'm just going to go here in Warrior. All right. Jedi Master Dasher. Let's fire away.
All right. So question for Miss Adastra from Rubber Ducky Mafia.
Oh.
Says, which team should I work on first? First Order or Imperial Troopers? I have a 5-star BB-8, have not worked on the vets, so don't want to factor in the Jedi training raid decision.
So, Imperial Troopers or First Order?
Correct. And he has a 5-star BB-8 and no vets.
Oh, so obviously a newer account then, from the sounds of it. Well, those are both good factions for longevity. Like First Order, especially where you're at, they're good. If you're going for competitive play, First Order is good defensively and offensively. Imperial Troopers are more offensive. So if you just go from a pure competitive standpoint, First Order will be more bang for your buck, so to speak. Yeah, it's hard without having see your entire roster and see, I don't want to tell you to do this when there's so much coming too. So it's have to be really careful in your resource management with all the stuff on the horizon, and then the big stuff that you probably need to be working towards. Like you said, you don't want to work towards the JPR stuff. So I would have to honestly see your roster to give you better guidance, but just on a 1v1 basis, I would say First Order over the Imperial Troopers, though, because then you also have their ships, which, well, kind of come in handy. Maybe not the best ships in the world, but at least you get double for it, like Crew's ship. His ship is still pretty useful for counters, and then also the plug and play, like Crew himself, Kylo Ren on Mask, can plug into various teams too. So I think you'll get more worth your while if you get a solid First Order team, and then later on you can get your imps going, but one thing at a time.
That's right. All right. Let's see here. Next question for good old Maurice.
All right. So good old Maurice, question from Nathaniel Morgan. how do you think Brood Alpha will be released? Only one low energy Cantina node is open. So would you move Imperial Super Commander there and put potentially Alpha on an 8? Could there be a new Cantina level with 20 energy? What do you think about Brood Alpha?
I don't think they're going to add another table. I feel like they would have, in that podcast, I feel like they would have revealed that. That would be something that they would kind of reveal to, I don't think it's going to be a new table. It's going to be, it's a possibility it could go into the guild store. That's where they added Starks and Captain Han farmable immediately, correct? Like as soon as they released them, or no?
I don't remember.
I can't either. Is there a marquee of like period, or do they just go straight to the table?
Captain Han was exclusive to the table at first, and then they had a bug in the game, couldn't figure it out, so they took him out of the requirements, but then put him on Cantina node since we couldn't get him the original way.
Yeah, so there'll be some way to get him, and then of course he'll be required, I'm sure, for the final mission. I would expect, for there to be some packs for him immediately. Probably the 1999 variety and a marquee style pack. That seems, and they still actually have the Captain Han and Stark packs, I think, pop up in the store. So, I expect to see that. And hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, it's not a fleet hard node. That's what I'm a little worried. He'll be on a fleet hard node just because there's so many open spots in that area still with just gear. So that one could be kind of troublesome. Hope for the best. I hope, because it will be needed. This is a character that will be needed by everyone.
Yes,
mandatory. So this hopefully they're forgiving and reasonable with it.
All right, science. Next question for Michael Huntington III.
Okay.
Hello.
So, hi, Mike. Question from Paparazzi, and her question is: how do I mod my Night Sisters to make them Imperial Trooper proof?
Speed. Make them move quicker than their Stark. You've got a 10 speed advantage immediately with either a Sarge or Mother Towson lead, because they have plus 30 speed as compared to Imperial Troopers plus 20. It is plus 20, isn't it, with Viz?
I believe you're correct, sir. Yes.
So you've got 10 speed there. Some of them are quite naturally fast. Personally, I think the Sarge lead would be the way to go, because I think she'll gain 105 at the very start. So if you can have a reasonably fast Sarge, and then whoever your comp is, you just need one extremely quick. If you can get one of your Night Sisters to be in the 300s, then chances are your Night Sisters will go before the Imperial Troopers do.
Science. All right, next question to Stoner Jedi.
All right. So Xylo, question from Nathaniel Morgan. And his question is, should we use the championship currency to take characters to gear 13 or round off more B teams to gear 12?
I seriously think, am I coming through good, by the way?
Yes, we see you.
Okay. I just want to make sure the microphone is working and everything. So I really think that rounding up like your top 3 teams, like your 2 Revens and your Padme team to 13 makes more sense than rounding up more teams to 12, because I mean, I did the same kind of cause and effect from like rounding up more characters to gear 11, but now I've, added more GP and, increased my roster's fluff in a sense. So hyper focusing those 3 teams makes the most sense, because they're gonna be around for a while, right? They're the newer teams, the top mechanic teams too as well. And I really think going in on Darth Revan, or at least Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan, I mean, the Padme team's going to benefit a lot more from the health bonuses. And I just really think that going up to 13 as soon as possible makes the most sense.
All right. Well spoken there. All right. Back to the top 2. Serious Man Warrior.
All right. So, question for Warrior from Ray Rock. It says, I have a 5-star Gear 11 Padme with sub Gear 10 incomplete Jedi team and a 4-star Gear 9 Shakti, which I'm working on gearing her to 11 and full Gear 12 clones. Who should I give the Zeta to?
Well, it sounds like your clones are ready to go and your Galactic Republic are not ready to go. So Doc T would make the most sense to put it on her so she can, make your clones go from meh to yay. So definitely I would go with that route. And if you're curious at all, 4-star Gear 11, more than viable. Absolutely more than viable. It's her kit. It's just what she does as a leader. And it's what she provides for all of them. And most of what she does persists through her death, which is awesome because sometimes it says like when so-and-so is still active or when so-and-so is still alive. Nothing in her kit says that. So, I mean, that could get nerfed down the road eventually, but I don't see it because it doesn't make them so overpowered now that it's a problem. So, yeah, definitely I would go that route. Shakti's solid. That was a very solid ad. She reminds me of like Range Trooper, somebody they just put into the game that's not like so overpowered it's game breaking, but powerful enough that you're like super happy with the kit, and it's also not too complex. So really, really happy actually with the development and the release of Shakti. Very good in comparison to some of the past releases. So clap, 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 clap for them.
That's very nice. All right, next question for Jedi Master Dastra.
All right. So, question for Miss Adastra. Question from Nathaniel Morgan. What character do you think will be in the Mark 12 or the MK2 Guild event store? It seems like a perfect place for Hondo.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be a pretty fun addition. I know a lot of people were wanting more, and because he could bring a whole group with him too. But that is the debate though. Like, what character, what crazy character are they gonna put in there? Because we know whatever it is, it's gonna be good. Like they've just really escalated these characters as we get them, like more and more powerful, and so I'm sure we're due for a clone. I don't know if a clone would be the one in this store though. Like I don't know if that would be good enough, so to speak. So I feel like we would get maybe another Jedi because there's so many like strong ones that they could still do. We could get a key separatist leader. I mean, I don't think it'll just be, I don't know. There's so many options they could do. I mean, they could do a one of the clone commanders. They could do, I don't know. There's so many options. Like it's hard to say, but whatever it is, it's gonna be good. Like there's no question there. And then I'm wondering how expensive it'll be because Malik is more expensive. I'm wondering if they're going to keep that pattern of making it more expensive to acquire a character in that store, or if that was just a one-off to make him more difficult. But
it'll cost you 600 potions. All right. Next question for Michael Huntington the 12th.
All right. So, Mike, we have a little bit of a hypothetical kind of speculation question for you from Janik B. Says, I need an inside scoop. Who do we need for the special mission in the new GOTB?
Hoggle.
Just Poggle. Just go in there with Poggle and just get squashed.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so you want a whole squad? I don't know. Geos, I would have thought.
Just Poggle.
Just Poggle. You have to go 1-on-5 with the old man Poggle.
Yeah.
Whole Archduke Poggle.
Go near him and he'll crash
Well,
with
he's
his
getting a rework, isn't he? So
yeah.
maybe Poggle will become a one-man army.
Yeah,
That's
basically
true.
with that cane of his.
Has anyone seen Kill Bill 2?
Yes.
And the
Oh, God.
her was he Chinese? Her Chinese tutor or Japanese? I forget now. But the old guy.
You mean
Yeah,
Pai Mei?
that's
No.
Poggle.
No, that's
Yeah,
not who.
that's
No,
Poggle.
not even close.
And he doesn't eat raw fish, so he'll be fine. He'll survive.
You don't know
Poggle.
him. You don't know him. You can't make that judgment. Oh my God.
No, that'll be my shout. Would be it'll be a full Geo squad. If we get this,
Alpha Road.
was it Alpha Brood?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and yeah, I think that we will be kind of pushed towards gearing up Poggles. I've seen lots of in-guild chat where it's like, seriously, I've got to put gear into this dude sort of thing, and it's like, well, you know, it is the Geonosian TB. You know, the clue could be in the title.
All right. Next question for Stoner.
All right. So, question for you, Xylo, from Romulus. By the way, I did see you show the little apprentice crawling over.
When?
Coming on screen.
I didn't see the damn apprentice. Where is he?
You missed it. He was all coming.
Well,
to the
yeah, I'm
screen.
kind of running. Damn it.
I like changed my setup so like
Where
he
is
can't go to the desk, but like he can be on the couch next to the desk.
Where's my
apprentice?
apprentice?
crawl
I
all the
don't
way
see
over
him
the edge.
anywhere. Where's the apprentice? Show him. My apprentice. I see you're watching episode 3. Good. Why is your hair so long? Get a haircut.
About that time. He's already a professional couch potato.
All right. So Xylo, question from Romulus 1, and his question is: what do you think about the high tenacity to counter Fallen Bastila and Darth Revan?
I mean, it makes more sense. I mean, I've been playing around with it. I mentioned on one of the lunch streams more recently the high build tenacity on like Yoda going first right away too, and putting the AoE tenacity up on everybody. Right? Is that the reference, or like high tenacity mods on the Revan team?
He didn't specify. I'm assuming it's either one. Just in general, the concept of high tenacity versus them.
Well, I mean, my Darth Revan has like 115% tenacity from one of the crosses, right? The 6E cross, he gets like 35% from him, and he already has such a high base tenacity already. I don't really notice him resisting any of the debuffs on his own. So, I mean, you can try and load him some, like if you have some really good speed secondaries with good tenacity that you've sliced up to 6E, right? I mean, maybe that makes sense, but it doesn't, even on Sith Trooper, they're all going to get debuffs regardless. It's just, unless you have that character like Grandmaster Yoda, he's the only one who's fast enough that can actually give an AoE tenacity up that's relevant. I mean, inside or outside of a Jedi Knight Revan team or a Darth Revan team, right? Like, you see Yoda's modded for over 320 speed in a Darth Revan team, or 310 speed in a Jedi Knight Revan team, and it's more than enough. So, I mean...
I think that someone... We got this asked yesterday about, like, high tenacity on your Fallen Bastila, right? So you can resist the corrupting battle meditation and stuff. And I'm like, yeah... I mean, it can work. It's a style you can go for, but I know that my... Bastila, she's like 134% potency, and then you give her all the buffs and stuff, and usually potency beats tenacity, and it can work if you want to go that route, but the characters individually with tenacity, I mean, you can go for it as long as you don't sacrifice speed, because you're still running the RNG fest, and 9 times it usually hits. So that's right, my apprentice.
You're only going to get the benefit from it for the very first turn.
Right.
Right, because once they start stacking ferocity, they get all that potency and stuff with it. So, I mean, you get one turn perhaps of usefulness, and then it's over. So,
it has that huge ripple effect, right? So I mean, it everybody here can vouch for you too. I mean, like at that point, it's like once you get to a potency and tenacity check, you've already lost, right?
My apprentice, you look too happy. Why are you so happy? What do you mean? Now, first choke your father. Do it now. Quit smiling. I want to feel your anger, boy.
Oh, he's about to shout soon.
Oh, yes, your hands are going in the correct position. Now, force lightning. No, my apprentice, you're not cooperating. All right, back up top to Warrior.
All right. So, question for Warrior from Utah. And the question is, with the new alpha change, what do you think would be a good team for the Padme event?
That's going to be interesting. The thing is I don't think Brood Alpha actually helps at all. And the reason is Padme's built to basically totally screw teams that take a bunch of turns out of turn. And that's kind of what they do. They're kind of like a clone team or an Imperial Trooper team. I think they'll probably be better than both of them because they have the health equalization and the regenerative health and protection with multiple cleanses. So I think they're going to be, and the protection regeneration as well, not just the health protection regen, but also 3% protection regen every time they use their basic. So there's like this massive durability. So it's like Imperial Troopers 2.0, but that would not work well against the Padme team. So I don't think that that's going to influence what you use. If anything, I think that a couple of the characters after rework might be worse in the event versus them originally. For example, Spy gets a ton of turn meter through the debuffs and stuff, and that's going to go down. And it's any time, and then it's going to go towards just their turn. And so, I honestly, I think that it remains to be seen. We're going to have to kind of get there and let the event come back and see what's in the game and what's readily available and accessible to see what's best. But for now, what was best was what everybody had access to. I'll tell you what's not best is B1. Don't use B1. The second you drop B1, you can do the event. As soon as you try to use B1, you make it literally impossible to win, unless you have every character Gear 12 plus with all Zetas, including the Droideka. The Droideka was kind of clutch. If you have Droideka, then Gear 12 and stuff like that, 7-star, then you can use B1 because Droideka overcomes what B1 does. But B1 just shoots so much out of turn. Everyone gets so much protection up. You just never make a dent.
All right. Next question for Lady of the Sith, Adastra.
I will not refer to her as such.
Well, I will. Lady of the Sith, Adastra, please.
Okay, so question for Jedi Master Adastra. Question from Sean Ragnar the Red Kelly. Question, with Gear 13 on the way, who are the top 3 characters you are going to push to Gear 13?
Jedi Knight Guardian.
Oh, for God's
sake. Kit Fisto.
Can we go to someone who's not going to waste this?
Wow.
No,
wow, you knew that answer before you even asked the
I was
question.
hoping she would actually be real about it, but
I
no.
mean, I was okay
Jedi,
with I
Jedi,
figured she would
Jedi,
say
Jedi.
Jedi, but I was assuming like Jedi Knight Revan, Fallen
Right.
Bastila, and
No.
Jolie, not Eth Cobb, Jedi Knight Guardian, and Kit Fisto.
No, I've been thinking about that a lot actually, because yes, I want to stick to my Jedi. I want to keep on that path to keep them maxed. So I got them maxed for now, but obviously when Gear 13 hits, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. And so at first I thought it'd be funny, like, yeah, I should Gear 12 a Jedi that like I'd be the only Gear 13 and be the only one in the whole game with a Gear 13 Jedi Guardian. Like, no one else is going to do that yet.
That's not something to be proud of. I'm sorry. That just isn't.
I mean, I'm going to Gear 13 them all anyways, so why not start with the fun ones?
That's not something I think of fun. Jedi Knight Guardian does not come in fun. No, don't. That's awful. I mean, arena team, nothing. Just Jedi Knight Guardian, like, not important to you, Adastra?
Hey, I used her in my arena team, so I mean, she can be used.
Why would you do that to
But
yourself?
but on a more practical route,
Okay, now we're
obviously,
practical.
arena teams would be the higher priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, first of all, too, have to wait and see what this Gear 13 piece itself gives, because we're gonna get 3 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious to see the stats in itself of what the Gear 13 will give. And then, yeah, you gotta go off of the Gear 12 that the characters already have. So, like the big one, General Grievous with the massive health, like he's gonna get a huge health boost. So I was looking through my Jedi, like, I wonder if anyone will have a similar, any extreme stat changes. And like Kanan has 2 furnaces also. So he would get a bit of a nice health boost. But and like, so I mean, it's gonna be fun to see. This is just gonna shake things up big time. Like this finisher alone, and then all the stats that get boosted when you upgrade to the Gear 13. So I'm pretty excited to see how much my Jedi will get elevated. So yes, it's no question. I'm going Jedi first. Jedi Guardian is in that list.
Awful.
But then it'd be someone like on the Galactic Republic team is kind of what I'm thinking, because that's one of the newest, best teams lately. So I was debating, like, I'm curious how their ships will be affected too. Like Anakin, I'm thinking maybe him, and I'm curious to see how his ship would be affected as a result. Because then also down the line, we're getting that new capital ship for the Galactic Republic that I'm hoping will be amazing. And I'll get to use Anakin's ship again in Arena.
All right, we're sick of hearing about the damn Jedi. Good lord. Okay, we get it. Why don't you and the Jedi get a room?
Darth Revan, Malik, Fall
I
thank you, Stoner. Yes.
Doing like rant videos.
God, I'm here to tell you that the Jedi Guardian is not used enough, and I'm sick of it. Damn it.
I was thinking of doing my crew first, so I could get number 1 in the healthy crew list for a little while for Gear 13. But on a more serious,
the number 1 crew in the game for like the first couple of weeks.
I mean, good lord.
But I think I think a lot of us would probably recommend Arena if this was asked for us. So let me just ask kind of general, and anyone can kind of chime in.
Silencer will get a boost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say for anyone else to do what I'm doing.
Well,
I mean,
I think we would all recommend like your Arena first. But I'm curious what you all think, because we know that the GOTB and Grand Arena Championships is coming relatively soon here, right? Like the end of the month is when they're targeting a lot of this. So do you think in the next 2 months there is going to be a shift away from Darth Revan as the meta in Squad Arena? Because that's a question that's coming up a lot, whether Darth Revan will last for the next 2 months or whether they should hold resources and something will replace it. So just curious what you guys think on that.
They already said that's kind of their goal, right? In that interview with Carrie, that they want to get away from a slow transition, very slow, and they're hesitant. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but more into the Grand Arena style where it's more about your overall roster.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, do you think Darth Revan will be dethroned as the main meta team in Squad
with the new meta
in the next 2 months? Like, do you think something is coming with these new events that's going to dethrone Darth Revan as the best team right now in the game?
Carrie said it in the Escape podcast. Malik's going to be like the meta for a while. Like, and you know what I mean? I think Malik implies Darth Revan, Fallen Bastila, you know what I mean? But I also do agree with, the idea of like the Padme team getting a boost. And I mean, like, some people are saying it counters it very easily. Some people are, you know what I mean, saying it's not. I'm still dipping into the Zetas, so I'm not bashing the Padme team at all. I think it looks great. And I think it's designed to obviously counter the team, right? But it's gonna bring more of that rock paper scissors aspect. Like you can beat Darth Revan with Bastila, or I'm sorry, Padme or Jedi Revan, or all three can beat each other in a sense, right?
What were you gonna say,
Yeah,
Warrior?
that's exactly it. The Darth Revan Malak team is extremely powerful. Like, it's gonna be relevant for a while.
Well, Sith are more
And we
powerful than
have these
Jedi.
counters that work, but the Revan team can just destroy everything on offense. So, like, yeah, I can use Padme to defeat it, but then their team can defeat my Padme team, like, so easily. So
Could you
one thing to be able to defeat a team, but to hold on defense against it, like, nothing can hold against the Darth Revan team. You know, the mirror matches are pretty much if your Darth Revan team is way better than their Darth Revan team. But for the outside counters, yeah, nothing can hold against it. So we would need something insane to be able to hold against this team. But it is nice that we have counters that'll work against it. And the Gear 13 will definitely enhance these counters.
All right.
Well, and another thing too is like a Gear 13 Padme would be able to beat a Gear 12 Darth Revan or Jedi
Why is
Revan.
your head just the only thing showing? Are you trying to do some
I'm on
art?
the other side of the furniture.
But it looks weird. It's just like this head coming from the side. We're doing some abstract art with Xylo. Jesus. Did you say? Were you going to say something, Warrior? Or
I'm
who's?
gonna have fun with this.
Hold on.
This is the opportunity for the community to have fun,
Yes.
and I hope the community actually has fun, because these Gear 12 finishers, which give you Gear 13, do a bunch of stuff. One, it provides a very customized last piece that's going to give a massive boost to that character based on what that character's deficiencies were. Two, you'll get all of the stats over again once it clicks over to Gear 13. Three, you'll now have mods factoring in the stuff that you just equipped in the Gear 12, finishing the whole round of Gear 12. And so teams, listen, if somebody loves Imperial Troopers and they take their Imperial Troopers to Gear 13 first, that team is probably going to beat anything on the market, period. It's probably going to slaughter everything. And if somebody else takes their Revan team, that Revan team's going to slaughter everything. You got to remember, everyone's going to be developing something different. Hopefully, if the community is smart, they're going to all develop their own favorite things. And there's not going to be enough early on, just like Gear 12 Plus, you had to decide who gets the extra piece that gives you speed, because they each gave you 6 speed or whatever. These ones give you 8 speed. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. So it's one of those things where it's going to come down to who develops what early on, and your leaderboard very likely will have, 3 to 5 Revan teams that are like tricked the hell out that you can't even beat if you're still at Gear 12, because you don't have the finishers yet for your team, because maybe you're one that's not doing this Geonosis yet, because your guild can't handle it. I have a lot of people in my leaderboard that are in high-end guilds. I also have quite a few that are not. And up to this moment, you've basically been able to buy your way into everything. They've basically given anything you needed for sale. In fact, it's gotten looser and looser and looser. At this point, you can go literally in for $6,500, buy every single piece of Gear 12 Plus you want. That will not be the case for these finishers. They're going to be expensive, difficult to get, and hard to farm. And people are going to have to be the most hyper-focused they've ever been in their life. And if someone puts out their Revan team higher, and someone else puts out their Darth Revan team higher, and someone puts out their Padme team higher, those teams won't be beat by anyone except for other Gear 13 teams. I'm confident in that, if they do their modding right. So because of the insane boosts that you're going to get, think of a General Grievous team in Arena. It will slaughter everything easily if it's all Gear 13 and the other people they're going against are Gear 12. So there is an opportunity for the greatest balance of this game in history with this Gear 13 by everybody focusing on what they love most. They embrace that. And those teams on Gear 13 are going to be insanely difficult to beat on offense. They really will.
All right. Well said, laddie. All right, let's go to the next question for good old boy Maurice.
Right. So good old Maurice, question from Utah. He says, I have Gear Ewoks for C-3PO event for the next round. Are they good on offense or defense for Grand Arena or Territory Wars?
I would definitely say offense.
Yes.
It's just simply because the success of the team is kind of dependent on your Paploo's speed, and if you use it offensively, you can find a good fit for. Defensively, if you place it, your opponent has their entire roster. All they have to do is pretty much find a team that will go before Paplu.
Nest.
Nest. Exactly. Nest will just single-handedly destroy them for max banner. So definitely offense, because it's a very efficient team, at least in terms of health regeneration. So you can get some decent banners out of it. It all depends on how well you mod them too. So
yeah, people say that they use that I know that their high end Ewoks they use for like crew takes it out no problem, right? It's teams like that they'll use their Ewoks for. So, but guys, don't put Ewoks on defense unless you have to. It's just you're just begging for a Nest to go in there and be like, haha, you're all maxed out. So am I. And
Nest, harder. Troopers, both troopers, clone and Imperial troopers. I mean, if you put Ewoks on defense, you're basically giving your opponent 60 banners. Mm-hmm. If they know what they're doing against them. So you do be careful.
Yes. All right. Next question for Hunt, Mike Hunt.
All right. So Mike, question from Guz989 says, "What heroes benefit the most from having multiple health mod sets on them with high speed? Most of my highest speed mods are health mods, since health mods are the most common as a reward in the various events."
I would say your healers. Most healing is based on the toon's health stats. And obviously health sets will boost that, and the faster they are, the quicker they'll heal. So I mean that would be there. And then other than that, toons that you want to keep alive as long as possible. So like Sunfac, Shore Trooper, but your tanks, your static type tanks. Anyway. I'm just thinking, like crew, for example, you'd probably want different mods on. But that would be where I'd go primarily, would be healers and thing. And then after that, any toons that you find just don't survive. If you've got toons that are strong, maybe even attacking toons, if you can get some offense on secondaries and that, maybe just to bump them up a bit, to just keep them in game and doing what they're supposed to do.
All right. Next question for Stoner.
All right. So, question for you, Xylo, from Nathaniel Morgan. Since CG said Poggo's lead is basically going to be useless, will they change his lead into another unique with the Zeta?
I mean, I think they'll retain the leadership ability. I think that he's definitely going to be like the second best leader now. Like they might tweak it a little bit to make it at least relevant, but they're not going to make it the best leader, and they're not going to make it into a unique. And they might give him a Zeta. I mean, like that's the trending thing now. Like if you look at all the past 3 teams that came out, I mean, like they're just loaded with Zetas. And you need them to make them relevant. So I think they'll give him a Zeta unique, but I don't think they'll turn the leader into a second unique. They might even give him another ability, like another special ability, but I don't see them getting rid of the lead in general or turning it into anything else. No.
All right. Next question, back up top to Running with Scissor Man Warrior.
All right, so Warrior question from Darth Scion 1972 says, will CG release the rewards for the new TB map before guilds have to choose which one to try? Also, is there any preparation your guild is implementing besides gearing separatists?
So first off, they release the map. It's always available, like once it's in there within a few days prior to launch, and you can click on it and you can go through like details and learn about the characters within the TB. You can also click on their rewards, and it shows you what theoretical rewards you'll get. But we don't actually know how the rewards drop in there, because I mean, it took us like doing territory battles light side from the inception of it to now. Like this month we finally got our first fully crafted piece in the rewards. Like otherwise the rewards were trash for the most part. They're trash at 45 stars. And for dark side, same exact thing. We have yet to get, I believe, a fully crafted from the dark side. I think we got one from the light side this month, but not from the dark side. But I know for a fact for like the first year of Inception, those did not drop full, and we were doing 45 and 48 stars respectively since the inception of those territory battles. So what they have in the little prize box, you know, in theory, they show like thousands of items. You know, not really, but like hundreds of items. It's all theoretical until you actually get a prize box and see what drops at the rate, you know what I mean? So as far as us specifically, we are confident they're going to set the bar higher than anyone can jump for now. And so you think about the highest end guilds, the top 5 guilds are all around 250 million-ish plus, and they're going to make it to where we can't complete it. I'm positive in that. So because they don't like us coming out and doing like on day one world's first, you know, they want us to like have something to strive for in game. So you're talking about something that's going to be needing 300 million to 350 million GP to get like all the stars. So I mean, there's really no way to prepare for that. I mean, I guess, you know, make sure that the magnetic strip on your credit card works.
Okay. Good to know. All right, next question for Lady Adastra.
All right. So, Miss Adastra, question from Utah. He says, do you think at some point in the future they will rework or even upgrade Jedi Consular or Jedi Knight Guardian?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get more reworks, but it'll be for the more named ones. Like, I'm as awesome as it would be, it seems unlikely that they'll give Guardian and Consular some love and update them. I mean, if we ever get a Jedi Sentinel in the game, then there would be a rework, because those 3 go together, and we'd have this awesome trio. But the odds of getting a Jedi Sentinel are extremely low. So, yeah, unfortunately, with all the other stuff they can do, Guardian and Consular are probably low on their list of reworks or updates. But it would be awesome. Guardian's my favorite of the underutilized Jedi, so that would, yeah. We could hope someday, maybe.
Don't include me in the we. I have no hope for that whatsoever.
Nah, you love the Jedi. Don't be in denial.
None of the denials of the river in Egypt, and I don't live there. All right, next question for South Kakalaki's finest, good old Maurice.
Yeller.
All right, good old Maurice. Question from Apropos Wuin. Question, should I invest in the bugs or droids first, assuming both are starting around the same point?
Well, in that interview on the Escape Pod
Cast.
There we go. Thank you. Yes. You know, she did say the new territory battle will rely on separatist droids. So I think that is safe bet to go all in on them. You know, and just the bugs right now suck. They're not good. They're usable with Newt Gunray. They look great with this Geonosian Brood Alpha. We'll have to see exactly how the Alpha plays when we get our hands on them. But I think the droids are going to be your better team. The droids are definitely going to be a more Zeta intensive team, though. So, you know, you really, at the very, very least, to make that team like functional, you have to have one on B1 and B2. And then, you know, you got 2 on Grievous. I would probably go as Unique first now after actually doing it myself. That's a very good one. So they're very difficult to gear too. IG-100, General Grievous, B2. These are not easy characters to gear. On the flip side, the Geonosians are very, very easy, or not very easy. Soldier and Poggle are 2 of the easiest characters to gear in the game. And Spy is one of the most difficult. And Sunfac does take a lot of Carboni. So I don't really know what my point there was, but you're looking at a lot of gear regardless at either faction. I do think Newt Gunray and Count Dooku will be very, very helpful. You know, they just reworked them right before the territory battle, so there's probably a slight chance that maybe they'll be required for something as well.
Science.
Yeah, droids. Do droids.
Yeah, droids are good. Pure.
Well, and then real quick too, like the Geos, Dooku, Newt, they're all a little more accessible, right? So like if you're trying to do something quick, like that's more accessible as opposed to like the droid team is like a long-term grind, right? Like it's a high investment. It's one of the most Carbonti heavy teams, right? But you're gonna need them too. So
All right. Next question for. Where are we? Oh, Mikey.
All right. So, question for Mike from Joao Cavalcanti. He asks, they introduced the Brood Alpha to make the Geos better instead of reworking them. What do you think of that approach? And yeah, so what do you think of that approach?
I think for this it's healthy. If they did an upgrade where Sunfac, Geonosian Soldier, Spy all needed Zetas plus him, then that would kind of, I don't know, it just, we've already got projects. Most of us are working on factions already, and having then to stop when we're desperately in need of Zeta mats to finish off our existing collections and what we're working on, then that would be too great. Whereas if you've got the focus of 1-2 who's going to effectively improve the entire faction, then I think that's positive in times where there's been a lot of negative.
All right. Well said, sir. Well said indeed. Back to Stoner Jedi.
All right. So, Xylo, question from Rubber Duck Mafia. Sitting on 8,000 Cantina store tokens, should I farm characters or should I farm shards for characters that I don't have? Or should I just get shard shop currency to work on stuff that I need?
which store was it again?
Cantina.
Okay, our Cantina.
I've been kind of going the fleet credit route myself personally. I mean, it's only because the fleet currency, like the fleet credits, say that 3 times fast. Those don't seem to come by as frequently as like your regular credits, and then you got 2 new capital ships coming into, so increasing the omegas, the abilities, leveling the ships in general, it's going to be very consuming. So if you're going down, leaning towards the next ship meta, farming some fleet credits makes sense. But if you need gear, then shard shop currency definitely makes sense too. So, I mean, it just depends on what you need more right now, right?
It depends on what are the characters. Like if you haven't done Boba Fett, then go get your damn Boba Fett. What are you doing?
Yeah, like the basics, pillars, of course, there's essential if you don't have your Falcon, you know what I mean? Like that's essential. Whatever's coming next is to, counter the Falcon, but I'm sure they're all going to be relevant in the sense like they're trying to rock paper scissors everything again. So hopefully, like, again, it's kind of the same balance, like a bunch of assist mechanics. Like you can't go wrong with that, right?
Science. Ah, good old science. All right, next question. Back up top to Waya.
All right, so Warrior question from Mucky Mouse. And the question is, what is the best Sith lineup that I can put on defense for a squad arena if I have no Revan, Malik, and an undergeared Marauder?
Probably Emperor Palpatine lead because of the turn meter and its arena, and you'd want him totally tricked out. So that way you just got him going crazy and shocking the heck out of the opposing team and stunning them. So lots and lots of potency, 100+% potency, get him speedy because it's arena, but put him in the lead and then do the triumvirate. The triumvirate period is good. It's kind of a sad day when they're not top 5 in the game. Those are just kind of weird, but it is what it is. So the triumvirate under EP, and then the +1 can be whatever you have available. Sith Trooper could be plugged in there, so you have a double tank for arena, which is a bit annoying with all the abilities going and all the extra debuffing and stuff. You could use Sith Assassin. Sith Assassin will make that team even faster, which outside of beating, a Malik team, it actually works really, really, really well against every other team, including Revan and Darth Revan teams that don't have Malik. So outside of like the top 20, it would be insane with Sith Assassin. And then Sith Marauder is someone you could invest into eventually and get. Sith Marauder's a decent, strong option. Sith Marauder never really had a place until Darth Revan, and the reason is his poor kit requires a ton of debuffs for there to be a boost to offense. So his damage was always kind of meh until you put 5 to 8 buffs over everyone's head, and the ferocity and stuff. So pretty cool. And then just really quick on what you guys were just talking about, the Geos. Everyone's saying that they're just chinsing out and just making this alpha character overpowered, and that's a lazy man's way of developing.
I don't think he's overpowered at all.
I am not a shill, but I got to tell you, you guys are all wrong on that. First off, they've already said they're going to redevelop all the other Geos. They're doing touch-ups on all of them, including, they mentioned in the kit that Spy is not even sort of done. They're going to go back. They called it a molt, if you will, because he's a bug. That there's going to be more and more touches. I actually think they are going to go back and put Zetas on them, and I, for one, hope they do, because they need more than just what he brings. What he brings puts them to the level of a decent offensive team, but there's hardly any debuffing at all, and you gotta have debuffs in the teams, and there's none with this team. So they're going to have to incorporate that in through some light touch-ups, some reworks, some Zeta adds, and I confidently believe they're doing that with all the characters. Plus, I don't believe they're over. I think they're going to bring another Geo into the game, so I'm interested to see kind of where that faction goes.
Yeah, great. When I looked at his kit, it looked great. I don't think it was overpowered at all. It reminded me of Shock T. Alpha Rood's the Shock T of the clones. So I think it makes them better, but I don't think it's OP at all, or it's lazy or anything like that. So
I would expect a full Spy rework, because his big move, his Silent Strike, just simply doesn't work anymore. You've got all this cleansing and you're debuffing you're cleansing all the buffs from the other team. And then you have characters like Nuke Gunray with the extortion. There's no buffs for him to pop anymore. So I would expect a full, just kind of touch up, maybe between a touch up and a rework on Spy, just because he's worthless now.
Yeah, they said they weren't ready to reveal everything yet. So that's why I also think we're getting something new. Who knows? What's the over-under? We get the queen of this faction.
She's too big. It would not work. And
they could do the top part. They don't have to fit the whole character.
Well, then she's not the queen. She's just a little boogie bug. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they'll probably have to do with Snoke, anyways.
Yeah, upper and lower half.
Quick probe on your response to the question, Warrior. So you said EP lead. Is there a reason you would suggest EP lead over trail lead for the team?
Speed
kills.
There we go.
Follow Basil in that team, and you've got yourself a pie. All right, next question for not the Jedi Master, but Lady of the Sith, Adastra.
No. Jedi Master Adastra. Question
Lady Adastra of the Sith, get it right.
Question from Thin Kyrell. And his question is, where do Eth Koth and Kit Fisto fit in right now? What lineup and how to mob them?
Oh, for God's sakes.
These are the best questions ever.
No, they're the worst questions ever. Good Lord.
Sorry, I got excited. Can you say that again?
I know.
Just so Ranger can hear.
Right.
No, you heard the question. That's enough. I gotta start muting people here. Goddamn it! All right, you get a room.
So, question is, where do Eth Koth and Kit Fisto fit in right now? What lineup and how to mod them?
Well, sad to say, they are not the top tier of the Jedi. So I use them as extras where I can fit them. So a common one that I've done is I use the Emma Gundai lead with a kit in there, so you can get the multi-hits going. And for fun, I've been trying that against the droid teams because of the anti-droid stuff that Eth and Imagande. They're good against droids. So I have been trying to get an Imagande team to take down a General Grievous team, and there is potential. Keep in mind, mine are maxed out though, and I'm crazy. So this isn't, I'm not going out and telling people to use this as a go-to counter.
Yeah, don't do that.
But if you have all these Jedi, it's fun to try to see where they can work. And then also Galactic Republic. You can actually mix them together there. The Padme team helped give you more options in that regard. Like, for fun, I just did that. Like, I put Eth Koth as the 5th for Padme, just to prove the point that you can pretty much put anyone with her if they're modded right. So, again, though, that wouldn't be recommended for you. So, it's they're just extras. If you have all these Jedi built, like, if you're asking about Ethan Kit, I'm going to assume you have quite the resources to split up these teams. Again, Imagandai is a good one for that filler. Or if you're just splitting up your Jedi in general, you just need another spot. Kit, again, for the multi-hits, you just mod him with, like, high offense, and he can potentially do some damage, because he can also gain turn meter. I mean, it'd be so cool if they updated his kit to make it more guaranteed, because his crit chance, crit counter chance, I meant, is just really low. So that's, but yeah, I mean, they don't really fit on the main ones. You can't really put them with Jedi Revan, because you have all the better choices. Bastila lead. Again, if you need a filler, you could throw Kit there for the anti-droid stuff. Throw ETH there. Have fun with it. Experiment.
All right, next question.
Keep these awesome questions coming.
Yeah.
And if you have more questions about Jedi for Jedi Master Adastra, make sure that you ask them in the chat and start it off with questions so I can collect it.
And on that note, that is an excellent note. I need to get going.
So don't put
but then
any...
if they ask questions, they can't get
No,
around.
that means all the Padme questions are gonna come my way.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
That's right. Ask Padme questions to good old Maurice.
Oh, no.
Not if you want answered.
Jesus.
And all Jedi Knight Guardian questions to now be sent to Ranger.
Mike, do you like being on this show? Oh, yeah, send those my way. See what response you get.
Good stuff. All right.
All right, Lady Adastra. Have a good one. All right. Next question for good old Maurice.
All right, so good old Maurice. The question is, with only 7 Galactic Republic ships in the game, do you think the release of Negotiator is too premature because we don't have enough Galactic Republic ships to synergize with 2 Galactic Republic capital ships?
Well, I think we're going to get more Galactic Republic ships. I mean, this is the Clone Wars era. There were some light side Clone Wars ships, data mined in the past. I think Yoda had one. There was a couple more. There are lots of ships left that they could add. I would definitely expect to see a new ship, maybe hopefully in the Galactic Chase method. I like that. For those of you that don't, we might get one Marquee style. I would definitely expect at least one, maybe 2 more.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some more stuff. All right, that was not a Jedi question. Fantastic. Next question for Mikey.
All right, so Mike, question from Danilo Papayas, and his question is, do you think Sith Trooper or Baze Malbus will profit highly from Gear 13?
Ooh. Hey, Dino, by the way. He said hey in your general chat earlier today. See, I've got to be honest. I'm not a big fan of Chase. I moved away from that as fast as possible, as soon as possible. but I am a fan of Sith. So, yeah, I think, I mean, with the boosts that Sith Trooper will get, oh my days.
Pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've only recently switched him out. I used to run my Sith Trooper with crit damage, crit chance.
Oh.
And he's one of the... he was, for quite a long time, my biggest damage dealer. And everyone was geared. You know, it wasn't that he was geared streets ahead of anyone else. Physical damage, he lays it down. So, yeah, no, that's just going to add another string to his bow.
Okay. And then next question to Stoner.
All right, and if you guys have more questions, make sure you put them in the chat. We're basically coming down to the last few questions here. We're almost at the fun questions. So if you guys have more questions, make sure
you might get done a little early today. Oh, snap!
Might get done a little early today.
What? Word?
All right,
Stoner.
So, Xylo, question for you from Sith Lord 72, and the question is: we are 180 million GP guild, working towards 48 stars in dark side territory battles. I'm concerned that if we don't attempt the new TB, we will fall behind other guilds in similar GP for territory wards in regards to gear 12 and 13. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the safe bet would be if you're not 100%. I mean, and we still don't know the grading scale or the stars or anything like that. So it's still definitely up in the air of what's going to be your best bet. Like, are you going to take less stars in GOTB for better rewards there and get an attempt at the new content, or maybe possibly stick back in Hoth for a little bit and maybe one or two more until you can figure out what kind of teams and factions you need to work on? Obviously, like the clones, the Galactic Republic, the Separatists, and the Separatist droids. So those 4 teams right there are like going to be the hyper-focused teams on that map. And then you have to go from a guild aspect of how many of those 4 teams does all of our 50 players have, and kind of tier through that ripple effect. I mean, and how long that's going to take your guild to do that too. So there's a lot of variables to it. And again, you might get stuck back in Hoth territory battles for the next 2 or 3, but then at that point it should give you enough time and rewards to at least get to the bare minimum and get those teams going, and give you some more guidelines of what kind of content you can see that is leading you into that, you know what I mean? Like or what the top tier players are doing to have the right teams, the right kill orders. I mean, like, this is going to be way more in depth. It's going to be more difficult too as an event, as opposed to just going in and pushing auto with this last TB. So you're gonna have to take time with it, unfortunately. And I mean, not everybody's gonna get right into it. I mean, it's just that's what it is now. It's the new in-game content, and they want you to push for these newer monetized characters like Shaak Ti, Padme, the Geobrute Alpha, Watam Bor, all these new characters, the Grievous droid team. So they want you to be there at that end game content to not only participate, but with the 80 million guild GP threshold, that's not just a border for it. It's also like a warning sign, right? Like, just because you can get in there at 80 million doesn't mean you're going to be able to walk through the first couple days or the first couple of events. So at 160 million where your guild's at, I think that with the right hyper focusing and the right moves and coordination, that you guys can definitely become more than relevant in the new GOTB at least.
All right, I'm back. I had to say something. Someone knocked on the door. Xylo, I was dying because I'm sitting there watching The Apprentice sitting on your lap, and you're trying to get him to do something on the pad there, and he kept going, nope, swipe right. A little clever turkey.
That's how to use that thing, man. It's funny. Get this out of here. Get this out of here.
I know. Get out of here. I don't want to play with that. I was watching, and then you bring it back and be like, nope. Oh my god, I was dying watching that. I had to put myself on mute because I was chuckling so much. All right, next question back up top to Warrior.
All right, so question warrior from Fat Tony 99, and his question is, who should I use on my Jedi training race squad that I'm working on for Grand Arena and Territory Wars? So his gears for his characters, he has a gear 12 Jedi training ray and BB-8, he has a gear 11 Scav ray, and he has a gear 8 3PO, R2, Finn, and Resistance Trooper.
So C3PO and R2D2 need to be maxed out. Like, just do it.
Yes.
Not a choice. Like, those are, two of the top 5 best droids in the entire game. So get your R2D2 and C3PO. That takes care of the slot. And with JTR, I actually suggest 4 droids, not 4 other resistance. Those 3 would be resistance droids, which will give the synergy you're looking for. But for the 4th, I would actually plug and play, something else like T3. If you don't have T3 and you want to do a resistance, then I would probably do resistance trooper. And if you don't have resistance trooper and you're, are closer to like, a different resistance character, then you can, like Scav or Ray or whatever. But she's a terrible gear actually. So it depends on how far you have them. But it's not like gear 8 for those other characters. So. Really biggest priority is get R2D2 and C3PO up as high as you possibly can. Put them on the team, and then if you have another random droid like Chopper, works insane with that team. Chopper has the dispel, the taunt. He's regenerative on his own nature, so that's great, and he can be there to kind of take the heat. But with BB-8, with the extra 8% turn meter and stuff, I just see it working better with 4 droids versus just 4 resistance.
Yeah. All right. Next question to good old Maurice.
All right. So good old Maurice, question from Nathaniel Morgan. Do you think Brood Alpha's lead is a noob trap and our Lord and Savior, the Queen of Geonosis, Karina the Great, will be the real leader for the bugs?
She is always the leader of the bugs.
Well, I don't know. It's regardless if it's a noob trap or not, it's going to be required for TB. So even if they do come out with another Geonosian, you're still going to want Brood Alpha just because I'm assuming that, from TBs we had in the past that the Brood Alpha specifically will be required by name for this. So, do they come out with another bug leadership? I hope so, because I would love to get some use out of these guys. Right now they're just like beating Kira and bounty hunters behind Newt. I could do that with a ton of teams. I'd actually like to have the Geonosians, like competitive, very, very good team. So we'll see.
All right. Next question for Mr. Michael.
Well, we are on to the fun questions now.
Oh, we got to the fun questions already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
We're on to the fun questions.
Well, saints alive.
It went by really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of questions, but it's not as many as we've always gone through, because I think a lot of people right now are in a waiting period to get more information about everything right now.
Yeah,
GOTB,
we're a little in flux right now.
Grand Arena Championship, so.
Yeah. So I'm sure.
So, first one is a kind of a question, not question, but from Darsion 1972. He says, Warrior and good old Maurice, while I'm sad that the Game Changer program officially ended, I'm glad you are having better communication. I will still continue to watch all of the awesome content you produce. So,
thank you very much.
Then we have a question from Apropos Wooin for Warrior. It says, can we get a mini story time related to the game somehow?
Oh, snap.
If you guys aren't aware of what that is, in fact, I'm going to make a whole series about it. All my live streams, they're really long, and obviously anyone that takes their time to watch an hour and a half, 2 hours of me deserves some sort of like a reward, because that's just insane. So what we've been doing, it's become kind of a tradition on my live streams, is at the end of my live stream, I just have what's called story time, and I just tell a story. It's random stories from my life, and it's become kind of a hit. So I'm going to actually go back to all my live streams. I'm going to cut the 10-minute story time out, and I'm going to make it its own series moving forward, so everybody can just go and see the 10-minute video on the story versus having to watch an entire boring 2-hour live stream. But I'm not going to tie up Jedi Academy with a 10-minute story time. They're fun, but I don't want to. That's not the purpose of this. But I definitely love story time. If you haven't seen my most recent story time, I actually talk about a Capital Game employee who happens to be a narc. It's actually a fun story. I like the guy. He's a decent guy. I had to poke fun at him a little bit, for what he did, and for what Capital Games and EA did to us as Game Changers. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you've got to go watch the last 20 minutes of my live stream last night. It was a fun story time, and that'll introduce you to story time. And if you like it, you can always watch that on my future live streams.
Very nice. All right, go ahead and keep going, Finn.
All right, next question from Paparazzi. Question for good old Maurice. Where did your username come from?
Well, it's pretty creative. Maurice is my name. And I live below the Mason-Dixon line, so good old Maurice. That's the end of the story.
Okay. Very creative.
All I have to say is be happy that we didn't get Warrior Story before yours, because after Warrior Story, like, everyone's name just seems off.
No, mine holds up, but yeah, the rest of your guys suck.
Yeah, the rest of ours suck.
Oh, mine's terrible. Mine is just completely unoriginal and not creative whatsoever.
I know, go Maurice like, well, if I'm gonna call myself something here, let me think here for a moment. Well, my name's Maurice.
It was one of my many internet poker aliases from years and years ago. That's the only one that really translate. You know what I mean? It's so. The rest of them are kind of stupid.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Finn.
All right, so what else 73 for Warrior? He says, now that Warrior isn't a game changer, are you going to continue being your diplomatic self, or will you upgrade to more aggressive negotiations with CG?
Join the ranting ravings of a lunatic like Ranger J, Warrior.
I have always been me.
I know.
I've never been anything but me. I never will be anything but me. I don't know how to be anything but me. What you get is what you see. I don't hide my feelings. I wear them all on my sleeve. I'm forward. I am a straight shooter. I have been very honest with Capital Games in the past publicly. When they do things I like, I say yay. And when they do things I don't like, I say shame. You know what I mean? So it's always been the same way. Obviously, I have a relationship with them in the sense that, I professionally work with them. Like, they make a game and I do content, and I look at my hobby as the same way I manage a multi-million-dollar company, and I look at my YouTube channel the same way. It's why it is relatively successful, because I've taken that hobby with an ounce of seriousness. And so when I have interactions with other companies, it needs to be on a professional level. That's just who I am. That's not me placating or being a shill. That's just me being a respectful human being that I am. So, if there are times in the past when I've seriously hurt their feelings or whatever, I want to have a talk and clear the air. There's no reason for them to have ill will towards me or vice versa. It's just a game.
Yeah.
There should be no reason why we're all at each other's throats. So in the past, there was, if you haven't heard, I know Mobile Gamer talked about it on his video a little bit, but I had done a video on BB-8. It's actually still out. It's my BB-8 video. And the first time I ever saw that little emoji above the head, it was like a turd emoji. I'm sorry.
It was a poop emoji.
You look at it, it still is, dude. Go in the game.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's a friggin' poop emoji. So anyway, but I saw it, and in my mind, I couldn't get rid of it, and I was laughing out loud, and I was like, dude, I'm so putting that in my video. So I put that in my video for the character video. It was hilarious, but they got a hold of me and they said, we're not going to ask you to pull it down or anything like that. It was just, you hurt someone's feelings. And I was like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah, listen, the guy in the art department works really hard to try and do his very, very best. And, they spent all this time doing it, and it's a little BB-8. If you zoom in, you can see it's like the top of BB-8. I'm like, well, I don't have perfect vision anymore, and it looks like a fucking turd. So
most of us thought it was a big pile of poo. Yeah, I mean, it's just no offense to that guy. It doesn't take away that he put in a lot of effort. It just looks like a big
so anyway, I realized that there's a human being on the other side of this conversation. Sure. And so I was like, you know what? For the sake of peace, I'm not an unreasonable guy. I'll go edit the little turd emoji out of my video. It's only 5 seconds. I'll go cut it out. So I did. But a lot of people saw that as suppression and things like that from capital gains, and that's not true at all. Like, that was me just being a respectful human being and choosing to be amicable in our relationship. You know, the relationship back then was actually far better, and so it was one of those things. You know, you don't want to, you know, kind of upset the apple cart, so you kind of try and be a normal, fair human being. And so I had cut it out. It's still cut out because you know, it was a human being on the other side that like spent a long time doing artwork, and that was kind of his baby to do the artwork for BB-8, and he took it wrong. And anyway, it was all in good fun. But that's the only time I can think of ever that I've ever done any kind of edit ever on any video, and that was because of me. I chose that because I wanted to like kind of make it right, because I kind of felt bad that I hurt some art dude's feelings on that. But if you go look in the game at BB-8's emoji, you will see a poop emoji, and you'll see
it's a poop emoji, man. You cannot have it's what it looks like. I can't no. Damn it, I had your back on that. I'm like, no, that's poop. All right, next, Finn.
All right, so next question, kind of a general one. What else 73? Do you think they'll upgrade or rework Ugnaught when Hondo comes into the game?
To die?
I mean, it depends, right? Hondo was surrounded by Ugnaughts, plural.
Well, he
right?
had one Ugnaught in particular that it was with him.
He had one in particular that he was fond of. There were other Ugnaughts when they went to steal the B-Wing from the Empire in Rebels. So
yeah, there's lots.
There was a whole. That was like my favorite scene in the whole.
I'm sure it was. That's why you suck.
They all just squeal. It's awesome. But
perhaps Hondo utilized the summoning tech they have in summons.
Summon an extra Ugnaught.
Yes. You can have two Ugnaughts on the battlefield.
Two Ugnaughts? I'm saying you have four and you summon a fifth.
Oh, hey, there you go. It's just Hondo by himself. Every turn he summons an Ugnaught. That's all he does.
I think that would be pretty cool. Ugnaught actually can be used against droids. The only problem is you don't see droids very often anymore. So I don't know if necessarily Ugnaught needs a rework, because his kit just doesn't have a use. It's not that his kit is bad. It's designed against droids, and droids just aren't prevalent in the game right now. So, at least not to a large extent. There are some teams, like Warrior mentioned, there's the droids with Jedi Training Ray. You have HK with Darth Revan. I mean, you have some scattered ones here, but you don't see the old HK lead with 88 and 86 and those kind of teams anymore. Next question, Deadpool Kyle. How long does it take for them to end up removing Brood Alpha from the requirements, just like they did Captain Han Solo with Light Side Territory Battle?
Oh, Lord.
God, that would be so awful if they had to do that again.
Give it about 4 to 6 months.
God. I really hope they don't have to go down that route again. Really? So, question from Mike. Could they put a monitor and a stand in the 5th spot with an image of the Geo Queen? It'd be like the friggin' ring in Galaxy of Heroes. Every time the Geo Queen comes out, she like comes out of the screen, does her attack, and pops back into the monitor. God, that would be so creepy. All right.
God.
Next question from John Davies for Warrior. Have you tried any of the other Jura whiskeys?
Yes, I've tried pretty much everything on the line of Jura. So a friend of mine who, God rest his soul, is no longer with us, he was a Apache helicopter pilot in South Korea he was there for 22, 23 years. But anyway, he brought back a bunch of Jura on his last trip to the States prior to his passing. And he shared with me a bunch of scotch. We did an entire scotch tasting. In fact, he is the reason why I drink scotch to this day. And he brought back a ton of Jura because apparently South Koreans buy like an exorbitant amount of Jura nationwide. Like all of the Jura in the world that's produced is like the majority of it's purchased by South Koreans. I don't know why, but that's their drink apparently. Well, anyway, so it's hard to find in the States. It's really difficult to get any kind of a selection. And so long story short, he brought back a ton of it. And we did a full flight over that month. We did a bunch of flights and tried it out and stuff. And I really got a affinity for the churros. So yeah, I've tried all the different churros. I finished off my superstition last night.
Oh, wow. All right, next.
So the next question, related from Bad Horsey 1, says, Ranger, for the uninitiated, can you please explain the difference between whiskey without the E and whiskey with the E?
I don't have the time. Google. God. Jesus Christ. Well, there's whiskey, like Scotch whiskey and Irish whiskey, and then there's American whiskey, and it's just different names and different stuff from different regions and things of that nature. It gets too goddamn complicated.
I'm pretty sure the spelling just kind of. I don't know. It's just. I don't think there's a difference. I just think it's where they like to say where it comes from.
Right. It's like
color with the U.
It's not that. I mean, like technically, bourbon is whiskey, right? We just call it bourbon here in the States, right? But it's still whiskey, and it even says that, when you look at the bottle, yeah, it's nothing.
In the end, it's all delicious in an old fashioned.
I tell you, it's great.
All right,
it's like aluminium.
Okay, no, that's a whole different thing.
It's not
because you're adding an actual letter and changing the pronunciation with that. That's no, that's different.
No matter how you spell it, whiskey or whiskey is an umbrella term for a type of spirit distilled from a mash of fermented grains.
Right.
100% chance that good old Maurice is reading off of Google.
No, I had that written on my hand from the other night.
It doesn't matter. It's all delicious as far as I'm concerned.
Shadowvale question: with other people posting GA Territory War team comp charts, will RSG Warrior or Operation Metaverse come out with their own?
Hell no, I'm not sharing my crap with y'all.
Doesn't one of them not have a single counter for CLS or something?
It's called CLS.
Yeah. Mirror match, you will win every time.
But there are. I mean, there needs to be caveats with those guides. Please look at them closely, please.
You could really mess with someone and be like, "It says here to use the Jawas versus Darth Revan. I don't understand this."
We have that video coming soon.
We do. No, we don't usually do charts, mainly because we live stream all of our GAs and things of those natures, so you can see the comps. Like yesterday when I was doing the mini Ross reviews, I did the whole Sith raid and used the different teams and showed them off. I didn't really try as hard as I could have, but I still got 6th or 7th or something like that.
Well, the other thing too is we don't have to remake things that everyone else has already been doing, right? So we actually have a channel in our Discord called GA and Territory War references. And so you can go there, and I have been putting links as people have been producing them and that. So you guys can just go to that channel and find the resources that other people have put. It doesn't seem necessary for 800 of the same things to be produced over and over again. So, yeah, we won't be. I sounds like good old Maurice probably isn't either, but I'm not sure about that. I know you guys put out individual videos, but not like a chart or anything, right?
No, we talk about it every single week on the stream. So that's pretty much what we stream about. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not like Team Money's obsessed with Grand Arena.
No, I mean, I wish she would. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that she
Team Money does love a good infographic though. So if she's listening, we might
very
have
visual. Yeah, good luck. I'm sorry, good on Race. We just set your ass up for failure.
Oh no, she does love an infographic.
And I know. You guess who's going to be making them?
All right. Then next question from Acheron. Did anyone see the gameplay reveal of Jedi Fallen Order, and what did you think?
Yes.
I did.
Yes, phenomenal. I will be streaming it.
Mm-hmm. It looks really, really fun. Did any of you guys see it? The Fallen Order.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Are you getting it, Warrior? Are you sold on it?
Yeah, I'm sold on it for one reason alone. I don't have a super open schedule, so when I get like a 3-hour period of time to just sit down and play a game, I don't want to have to set up like the YouTube and all this kind of stuff and check to see if all the computers work. I just want to go. I just want to sit down. I just want to play a single player. That's why I love Skyrim. And this is going to be just like that. You know, it's designed exclusively for someone to just sit down, single player, go do it, have fun, enjoy the story for what it is, which is the story. So I'm super looking forward to that.
Or you can just watch me play it on the stream, come hang out, and then we can get drunk and play it together.
Okay, yeah, that's always a possibility.
I didn't feel the love there on that one, so that's not going to happen. So, shot down by Warrior again. Fantastic. All right, next one, Finn.
So you feel just like T Money, who's appeared in the chat too.
What's she doing?
She told Godo Maurice to make the infographic.
She said that's my jammy jam.
Well, if there's a very small group of patrons that have seen my infographics, let me tell you, those are not suitable for the public. It's just like a bunch of screenshots floppily pasted on a Google Doc. It's pretty terrible. But.
All right. And then, so let's end with this. So, Girl Maurice, a question for you. It's a little bit more of a serious question, but I figure our response should be fun. Chill 1982 says, what are your thoughts on the 5th for a Padme squad that's not 3PO? Because we know you love Padme questions.
Well, I like Clone Wars Chewbacca. I think Shock T is very, very good there as well. I don't know. I know she's viable at 3 and 4 star. I haven't personally really tried it too often on Padme. I have developed clones and work on that team, but she seems to be a very good fit in that 5th slot. Clone Wars Chewbacca is good. Dasher talked about earlier how she was Eth Koth. I don't really think it matters. If you've really developed the core 4 of that team, I think you can use whoever you want as a 5th. A lot of people use Barriss, even though there's not many crits going around. She does have defense up, and she does have a heal, and she does have a cleanse on the off chance that you need it. I think, I would probably, I like Clone Wars Chewbacca the best.
All right.
You want a more feasible option? I don't know, Qui-Gon. I don't know. It's an Ezra. Not Ezra, but I don't know.
Ayla seems pretty nice.
Ayla's very good. Yes, there we go. That would be my selection. Ayla.
Yes, she's very nice. Plo Koon's nice. There's a lot of stuff there. So I just want Mace, Mother effing Windu to be reworked so I can put him in there.
All right, that is it for questions.
T-Money just said, what's an NBA?
It's a non-bargaining agreement. All right,
yeah.
We're good.
All right. All right. So this is where we're gonna let everybody pimp their stuff, and then we're gonna call it here. And we'll start with Scissorman work, because I know he's at work getting ready to make $1 million in mattresses. Warrior, where can folks check you out at?
So they can check me out on 2 places: my main account, which is Warrior Presents, and then my alt channel, which is called Warrior's Roster Reviews. For the record, I do still do roster reviews. I have 3 of them private right now that are going to go live over the next week. Nice. 7-ish days, and I've got 2 that are still pending. I'm working on one as we speak, but I think a lot of people forget about them, and I've been getting about anywhere from 1,500 to 4,000 views. It depends on the person, the roster, and what I put on the thing. But lately, the last 2 months, most of the rosters have been about Grand Arena Territory Wars, the most overpowered teams. What should I be focused on? And there's just a lot of little nuggets about high-end stuff. Just like good old Maurice said on his live streams, it's kind of all he talks about. He just kind of displays top-end defense and stuff. That's what those roster reviews are for. It's taking these individuals and trying to give them the best thing to shoot for. And then on my main account, I've been doing a once-a-week stream called Scissorman, which follows my free-to-play alt account. But obviously, I used to do a ton of content and everything, just tons of videos, and then of course Scissorman was a new thing. Scissorman wasn't intended to completely take over my channel and be the only thing I do. It's just the only thing I've had time for. But that should change over the next month. It should go back to a normalcy in my life, and I should be able to go back to doing at least about 3 videos a week on my main account. And what's great is Team Instinct. I've been, when I first started the game, the whole point of my YouTube channel, this is the entire point right here, was simply to take what I'm learning and share it with the community. Because I'm not smart, but the community is. And as I learn stuff, I wanted to share it with the other people who hadn't learned it yet. And that was what my entire channel blew up on, was knowledge sharing. And that's kind of the whole point. And then it was like that up until Territory Wars. And then Team Instinct basically said, hey, we don't want you sharing our high-end counters and stuff. It's kind of rough if you take everything that we're going to use in the next territory war, share it publicly, and then they beat us because you shared all our counters. So it's like, I get that. So I kind of stopped doing the informational stuff, especially on PvP, but that's going away, actually. Team Instinct now finally understands that people have finally caught up with us. There's a ton of badass guilds in the top 5. They have equal to or more GP than us. They've got equal to or more theory crafters than us. They've got phenomenal players. Everybody in the high end, we're talking top 1,000 players, know what the hell they're doing. They know all the counters. They know all that. And at this point, the only person that we're hiding from are the younger Dolphins and free players that don't know this stuff because they're not playing at the high end. So we've decided we're going to be more open and communicative. We're going to start sharing all of that stuff with everybody, and they're excited to let me kind of share this stuff on my channel. And I'm excited because they're basically dropping the informal NDA that I've had with Team Instinct. I'll tell you, Team Instinct's NDA is way worse than
Yes, yes, I know. I know.
So I'm excited because it's going to provide for me a lot of high-end content that I've been honoring my guild by not doing, but have always been biting at the chomp to do, and they are biting at the bit, chomping at the bit, whatever that saying is. But now it's going to be something. So looking forward, it looks like there's going to be a lot of really fun, high-end content, teams, counter teams, things like that, education. How do you use these specific teams? Not just what is the comp, but like how do you use the comp? What specific modding on key characters should you have? Things like that. So I'm really excited for what the future holds. And if you're listening to this and you've unsubscribed from me, you might want to turn around, go back, subscribe, because moving forward, there's going to be a ton of fun and new content.
Damn right. Well said. Well said indeed. All right, so make sure you check out Warrior Stuff. Good old Pappy Maurice.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm good old Maurice. I'm one half of Operation Metaverse.
Hi, good old Maurice.
Hi. The other half is T-Money. She couldn't join us today. She's busy making an infographic for the for the counters. But we do a live stream every Tuesday, 9:30 EST. We do videos.
Let's be honest, she just didn't want to get her ass up, okay? So let's just be real.
Awkward silence. We will go...
Because you know I'm right. She overslept. You can't say it, but I'll say it.
We do videos. Our last video was pretty popular. The last big one we did was the Anakin broke the raid video that Vice Torn presented us with. That one was pretty good. We got a couple more videos, kind of preparation videos coming out. So this Geonosian Brood Alpha kind of adds another layer to it. So we got to add some stuff in. But yeah, you can do that. We also, I'm also part of Ramona Zob's channel. We do the Alliance live show Sunday nights.
Oh God.
Yeah, we got the 100th episode coming up. So that's
it's gonna be fun.
That's pretty cool. So do check that out.
See, I was right. T-Money said my phone died and I overslept. So there you go. So it's not like I make this crap up. I've known her long enough, and I know that happens. Come on, T-Money. You got to plug your phone in, set the alarm. It's not hard. Come on, T. We know you can do it. But yes, please check out that stuff. Great stuff on both channels, Operation Metaverse and with Remote.
I hear you're about to be on the Escape podcast here soon.
He didn't say it right. Don't acknowledge him until he says it right.
Escape pod ... cast. Okay, go ahead.
I can take
that. Yes, that is right. Both of us were on the latest episode talking about Grand Arena. I believe McMull's on the episode as well. So
very nice.
Yeah, do check that out. I look forward to critiquing. See how awful I sound on there momentarily.
Oh, Lord. All right. Mike, anything you want to pimp there, buddy?
Yes. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yes, I know.
Yes. I've been running a Galactic Republic squad. I've got my Arena Shard climb. I've learned how to kind of edit. So I've been able to combine more than one battle, which has cut down me spamming everyone quite considerably. And today, just before the show started, actually, I released 2 videos. One Galactic Republic against a full Jedi Knight Revan Jedi squad, including Bastila Shan and Jodie Bindo, and the 2 froggies. And I've also got the same against a full Sith Empire squad, including a 7-star Darth Malak. So, yeah, no, I'm having fun. I've been working with Shaq T in the squad and finding that she's quite an interesting character. Yeah, pop on by.
All right.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Bring up a spot of tea. Stoner, my MC brother, what's going on? Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah, takedown games, Xylo takedown. Got the apprentice with me always, and
yes.
we always have some fun. Roster reviews, live Grand Arena, and Discord is on the About page on my YouTube channel. Come chat and please subscribe. We just passed 600 the last few days, so getting closer to 1,000 this year, man. It's been a great year, and I can't thank all the RSG viewers enough and the panel. You guys have all been great supporters of mine over these last few years, so thank you very much, you guys.
And last but not least, Finn, since you've been such a dickhole today, I'm going to have you close us out because you made me angry.
All right. So please make sure that you also check out Jedi Master Adastra's channel.
Oh, yeah, good call. I forgot about that. Good call.
Yep. She just put out a new video about the 5th person to use on a Padme team. And she does, in fact, rotate through Jedi Knight Guardian and Koth and some other characters. It's really fun to watch. So make sure you do check that out, Jedi Master Adostra's channel, and everyone's channel that is a part of Jedi Academy, whether they are here today or not, is all in the description of the videos. So please make sure you go to all of them and that you subscribe to all of their channels. They put out great content, and so we do want you guys to support everyone in the community, especially those that are on Jedi Academy. That, of course, will include RSG. So thank you all for watching it on our channel. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you subscribe and you hit the bell because we do a lot of I said doo-doo. We do a lot of live streams, so you'll want to get
You said doo-doo again.
I know I said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
So make sure you guys do subscribe and hit that notification bell. Then also we have our Wednesday night stream, which is well over 150 episodes now. So over 150 weeks that we have been doing our Wednesday night stream where we cover the news and notes from each of the past weeks. So make sure that you guys do join us for that. That's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have some fun on Saturday nights as well, in the wee hours of the night where we play Pictionary and just have fun. So you guys can join us for that. We're starting to stream other games as well. And I'm sure once we get Fallen Jedi Order, we'll be doing that as well. So make sure that you guys do subscribe and join us. And main thing for this weekend, if you guys haven't, be prepared for Saturday Night Fun and Sunday, 5 p.m. on Twitch. We do have stuff on Twitch. 5 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, on the RSG channel, twitch.tv/realityskewedgamers.
Yes.
We will be doing Dungeons and Dragons, where my character has managed to avoid the grasp of evil, but nobody knows what the hell he's thinking right now.
That's pretty good stuff. 5th edition, Forgotten Realms, Lana Torel, come join us. Where I try to kill these guys all the time, and I have the worst luck. All right, so thank you guys for joining in. Appreciate you. Have a fun rest of your day. We're going to take a little hiatus, but we'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock p.m. To do some Pictionary. So we'll have Lady Xylo with us. She loves that, and Ouchie and everybody else come in. And you're more than welcome to join us. We just sit there and have a good time just being ridiculous. So, but with that, we're going to sign off. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Peace.